From Monday to Tuesday, you don't have any fun. From Wednesday to Thursday, just going out for a run. Friday and Saturday, you're always getting drunk. And Sunday, you stay at home and never go to church.
Jack and Jameson, my love scheme to get me in. Now let me in, just let me in. Hey little lady, what do you say? Let's have a little roll rating. Hey, got four best friends right till the end. She's like Jack and Jameson. Now it's time to close the bar. Grab the keys, head to the car. Four best friends right till the end. Jimmy, Johnny, Jack, and Jameson. Schemes to get me in, just let me in, just let me in. Pilot schemes to get me in, now let me in, now let me in. Pilot schemes to get me in, let me in, let me in. Pilot schemes to get me in, now let me in, just let me in. So, go in the glove, pull out the gun, pull down the face mask, make some love. Got four best friends right till the end. Jimmy, Johnny, Jack, and Jameson. Right till the end. Jimmy, Johnny, Jack, and Jameson. Why let us give it to get me in? Now let me in, now let me in. All my friends, we love to sin. Let us in, just let us in. All juiced up with big old grins. Now let us in, just let us in. All my friends, we love to sin. Let us in, let us in.
All right, my night outers, that was Strangers with Knives, Jimmy, Johnny, Jack, and Jameson. This is DJ Psycho Eddie. You're listening to My Night Out Radio only on RI Free Radio. In studio, we have, well, Mr. Tony Jones.
Jimmy, Johnny, Jack, and Jameson could be the unofficial theme song of not only My Night Out Radio, but RI Free Radio.
Pretty much. I mean, I've had many nights I discussed lots of stuff with those four. Usually with the same results, passed out and drooling. Well, guys, I got to tell you right off the bat, this is going to be one of those very random shows because, as usual, I did my typical awesome job preparing. I'm staring at a blank screen on the computer, and I've been passing around videos and memes I've seen on Facebook all day.
Funny ones,
but I'm having a hard time focusing. So if it seems a little bit random, it's because it is. I do have to start off, however. Last week, thank you, Chuck, for coming in. Chuck and Brad from the Chuck and Brad podcast. They are doing their live 300th-ish podcast live tonight at FET. So wish you guys good luck. Have a great show. Also, wanted to bring up, I got a little bit of hate mail. People were a little distraught.
That's when you know you're doing something right.
I know. They were distraught with something I had to talk about, which I will get to in a little while because I got to bait them and drag them along a little. However, at the end of last week's show, I dropped a teaser. I said I was having cocktails with a gentleman well known in the Rhode Island areas for conventions. I'm talking about Steve from Rhode Island Comic-Con, Connecticut Comic-Con. He does like 6 or 7.
Colorado.
Yeah, he's all over the place. He's a really nice guy. And if you ever get a chance to talk to him, really great guy to talk to. Funny as a bastard. That's all I can say. Now, we were at a local establishment, which I will not name.
Local watering hole.
Yep. and I was having a few cocktails. He happened to be there. He was having a few cocktails.
Pinky's out.
Oh, yeah, we were definitely pinky out type drinking kind of a day. But we're sitting there. We're joking around. And the timing must have been just right. And he let me in on a few secrets, which were supposed to have been released last week. So I wasn't letting the cat out of the bag.
Right,
so I can't tell you guys what he told me. All I can tell you is there are two very huge names coming to Comic-Con this year, which one of them might actually be performing at the after party, which if this is true, you will not be able to get tickets to the after party once they release that he is or is not performing.
And they're currently on tour and selling places out, so yeah.
Yeah. So there is that. There is also, I can release that there is going to be an off-site pre-party, like weeks, months before Comic-Con. It is going to be 21 plus. No doubt, not, maybe I can sneak someone in. It will have to be 21 plus. It will be a superhero-themed party. And again, that's as much as I can tell you without, lawsuits and, Steve not, letting me into Comic-Con. So
He'll revoke your press pass.
Which I am very grateful for, by the way.
Trade secrets, releasing trade secrets.
So, I mean, that's as big of a teaser as I can give you without, legal ramifications. So,
they put out some pretty big guests this week for Kineticon, though. So, I'm telling
nothing
compared to who is on tap.
The ones on tap.
Which, by the way, Rhode Island Comic-Con attendance this year they're expecting 100,000 people. That's 1% of the entire population of the state of Rhode Island. Now, people come from all over the country for Comic-Con, for Rhode Island Comic-Con, but 100,000 person Comic-Con this year, and they did 80,000 last year.
Yeah. So, I mean, it is getting bigger by leaps and bounds every year. So
like my waistline.
Oh, well, that's par for the course. We have the snack cupboard over here, which is not the fridge. The fridge, that's the beverage cupboard. Right next to it's the snack cupboard, which unfortunately, Deb, if you're listening, we need more moon pies and chips. Just throwing that out.
We got a lot of broke people around here, and let me tell you, when they see that snack cupboard's full, they know they're eating this week.
Oh, yeah. Unfortunately, some of them have to let the chips and whatever soak a little, or at least steam.
Oh, yeah.
So they can...
Can you put these chips under the steam belt?
I got to tell you a story because, hell with it. Why not? Have you ever done something and explained something to someone where you realize later that this is the absolute worst person to explain it to? One of the people I had worked with had an abscess in her teeth, and she literally had to have every tooth from, I believe, the canines forward, top and bottom, removed out of her mouth.
Ow.
And yeah, it was a horrible ordeal. She was hospitalized for weeks, and as I'm explaining it, and of course I've been drinking, I'm trying to put a funny spin on it, and I'm explaining it to my friend Pete. Mm-hmm. If you guys don't know my friend Pete, you should. He's a funny bastard. Anyways, we're talking about this. Well, Pete's in-laws are there, and I'm explaining this, and I'm trying to make it as funny as possible, and then I realize the guy that's listening, I'm not going to mention his name, Jeff, but he is not finding this amusing until I realize why everyone else was laughing so hard. Jeff also has every tooth removed out of his head through lack of oral hygiene and, poor genetics or whatever you want to call it.
Methamphetamines or?
I have no idea.
Or all natural?
I believe it's the Mountain Dew method.
The gamer method.
Yeah, that's it. Not so much the human veal, but yeah, pretty close. So I'm explaining. Everyone is dying laughing because I'm saying this straight face. You could see afterwards his face was the darkest red I've seen anyone's face not drinking. The darkest I've ever seen anyone's face get that red. And after he walks away, pissed off, obviously, my buddy Pete puts his arm over my shoulder, dying laughing, and explains to me what I just did. I felt like a turd for about a half a second, then I saw the humor in it and just started laughing again. So that was my feel like a turd. Not really feel like a turd. It was just awkwardness. Just slightly awkward.
It's not like you're going to, scan the room for gummy smiles before you go into a story like that.
Yes. Okay, before I tell you this story, is anyone missing any teeth? Okay, you might want to leave. Which leads me into, if you haven't noticed, I am not the most politically correct person. Well, I'm going to leave it at that for now. We're going to cut to a little bit of music. When we come back, I will continue on why I am not so politically incorrect, why I'm so politically correct, and we're just going to have a little more fun. We're going to leave here with a little bit of vulgarity, Middle Finger Machine Gun. We'll be back in a minute.
you've always wanted in your darkest dreams. Kneeling at my feet, kissed in black, sheets of ecstasy. Fulfill your deepest desire to submit to me. Scum! Waste! Rats! You are nothing but scum, a worthless joke, a slave at my disposal. You're here to be of service.
All right, Might Night Outers, that was Sorrow Seed, Divine Submission. Before that, we had Vulgarity, Middle Finger Machine Gun, which kind of goes along with the story I was telling before about...
That was a perfect segue.
I know. I work on it sometimes.
Just happens. It's serendipitous.
This time was purely by accident, but sometimes I actually work on it. I was talking about being very not politically correct. Now, I had received some angry emails.
Right, yeah.
And I just love the angry
Hate mail.
emails because it just proves that, number one, people are listening and they have opinions, which is great.
Which, by the way, speaking of people being listening, when you were on your vacation and off for about 4 weeks,
Yep.
people were hitting me all the time. So I was thinking about, just as like a radio gimmick, telling people that you were dead, and then when you came back on the air, it could have been a Rhode Island Free Radio miracle right here in studio. Praise Jesus.
No, you could do whatever you want as long as you're not telling where I actually am. And for those of you who didn't know, I took about 4 weeks off because I went to the Caribbean. I got some nice tan, a lot of drinking. I basically abused myself for not that type of
Abusing yourself meant something completely different when I was a kid.
Well, 12 years of Catholic school, it meant the same when I was a kid too. But abusing my liver, not my whole body, just my liver. I put on a couple extra pounds, or about 20 or 50 or somewhere around there. But back to the story. I get these angry emails because how could I have the audacity to promote 2 local businesses? For those of you who were not listening, shame on you, number one. Number two, I was talking about Apparatus, which is a smoke shop, a head shop, whatever you want to call it, over here, 284 Coesit Avenue in West Warwick. Now, I've been friends with one of the owners, or the owner, Alan. I've known him several years now. I used to work with him at, my day job and his former day job. So I know this guy. I trust him. I can talk to him. And I had some questions about vapes and vaping and stuff like that. And, being that he has my trust, he could have sold me pretty much half the store. Oh, you need this. Oh, you need that. And, being that I trust, I would have bought it. But he steered me in the right direction. He basically told me, look, the person you want to talk to is not here. He sent me down to, which is the other horrible business that I was supposedly not supposed to talk about on the air, Rhode Island e-cig and vapes. Now, when I went in there, I told them straight out, just like I'm going to tell you guys right now, when it comes to vaping, vapes, I'm a complete idiot. I have no clue what I was doing. I still have no clue, but at least I have enough knowledge not to hurt myself.
Right.
I realized that, sometimes vape juices have nicotine in them. I didn't know that. I figured it was just the substitute, the mouth sensation, whatever the case was. And these people, very plain English, not trying to get all scientific, not trying to get holier than thou, like, oh, you're going to stop smoking and you're going to lose 100 pounds and all this. No, they basically said, this is what you have, this is what you need. Being that you're not trying to quit smoking, you don't need the nicotine. So you want to pick out of this stuff. If you want to try this or this. And just to test them, I actually one of them, I started asking about illegal substances, and they basically told me, no, we don't deal with that. We don't know anything about that. However, there are some vape juices which do have a legal additive, which is CBD, or
Right.
it's actually a derivative of the marijuana plant, which is CBD cannabidiol, and it promotes a full body well being. It helps inflammation.
Yeah, I know people that swear by it, people that are arthritic and have different issues, and they swear by CBD oil.
Well, I did the research. It's also really good for seizures. If you have a seizure disorder, you can vape CBD oil, which, by the way, tastes like ass, from what I'm told.
Now, the first time I got a little bit of education about CBD oil was a few years back when we did a live broadcast from Rhode Island Cannabis Con.
Yeah, I had a little bit of a contact high.
2 years ago.
Yeah, the cannabis convention was an eye opener. Granted, the eyes were puffy, but there was an eye opener. And as I was talking to people that day, I realized that there is a whole, not only business, I mean, right down to packaging.
Right.
I mean, there was a guy who came up talking to us like he thought he was going to make the sale of his life. And basically all he did was infuse CBD oil or THC or whatever it is into chocolate.
And I mean, it's more of than a business. It's a scene at this point.
It
and
is. It's definitely a counterculture.
Now, what hurts a lot of brick and mortars is that someone like you went to the store, you asked the questions, then you bought from those small businesses. A lot of folks will go in there, pick the person's brain, and then head home and buy it off of Amazon.
Well, Amazon, you don't get the customer service, and if you buy the wrong thing, you're kind of stuck with it.
Yep, keep it.
So, I mean, I went in. I like being able to talk to someone face to face. If I have a question, I want to see not only hear your response, but I want to see your face to see if you're blowing sunshine up my backside. And that's why I do it. And most of the time, I do some research before I go out to do anything like this. And I'll do my own research, so I have kind of an idea. And if I, have a question, and they can either correct me, say, no, you have a misunderstanding, or you are absolutely right.
Now, your hate mail related to last week's show was the fact that you were just promoting vaping, or, I mean, I'm more offended that you gave it away for free, but that's a different conversation. But were they
will be coming out later.
Were they upset that you were just talking about?
They were upset that I would promote. First off, a head shop. Marijuana, the devil weed. You can't talk about that on the air.
The devil's lettuce.
And vaping. They were just they were offended that I would talk about vaping. Well, guess what? It's part of life at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, you go outside any nightclub, any bar, which I'm at several of them throughout the course of a week, a month, and you see it. It's there. It's very relevant in the music scene, in just general life at this point. You can go to almost any vape shop, and I did stop at a few, but I'm going to stay true to e-cig and vapes. They were good to me, and I'm going to keep my business with them. But
I think they would be great sponsors of MyNightOut Radio.
Yes, I was just going to suggest that. But thank you for jumping in on that, Tony. And if you are listening, I'll probably stop in later on this week because I'm running out of some vape juice. The Fruit Loops is running out.
Now, it'll be interesting because I don't know if you've heard, but Providence, Rhode Island, has just passed a smoking ban in the city, which is going to kind of be interesting for the nightlife scene.
How can you enforce that?
Yeah, exactly.
If you see a puff of smoke, arrest them. But even if you're vaping, that's there's no smoke. It's a water vapor. I'm actually going to try to get one of the guys from Rhode Island E-Cig and Vapes to come in and to because I'm ham-fisting my way through this. I got just enough information to be dangerous. I'm touting how great it is, and I really don't know everything that I'm talking about. This is just my own personal opinion. Mm-hmm. But I'd love to have one of those guys come down.
So if you vape this weekend because of what you heard on this show and you drop dead, this is solely view of DJ Psycho Eddie and does not have the express written permission of the management here at Rhode Island Free Radio.
You can't get blood from a stone. The most you're going to get is a disgruntled pit bull and a freezer full of sausage and hamburgers because I'm stocking up for the summer. But anyways, so yeah, that was, you know, I don't run with the politically correct, and I have to put up with a lot of college-aged people as an Uber driver. I put up with a lot of college-aged people that have their own opinions, and if you disagree with them, well, you're wrong. and I'm not going to put up with that in my personal life. I appreciate your input. It will be filed duly, but I am not going to change who and what I talk about because it hurts your sensibility or hurts your feelings.
And there's a big difference between, you know, I value input because I'm always trying to improve, you know, my show, my content, what I'm doing. But there's a difference between constructive input and just saying you shouldn't talk about the devil's lettuce.
You know, stop your crying. If you want sympathy, it's in the dictionary between shit and syphilis.
I haven't heard that one in a while. That would make a great T-shirt.
By the way, Kenny Rule, if you're listening. Anyways, we're going to cut out of here. We're going to take a little break. We're going to do a double shot of the McGunks. Going to lead out of here with Halfway to Hell. We'll be back in a minute.
back when the devil was right. Well, it's so long ago, way before the light. Back when the devil was right. Well, it's so long ago, way before the light. Back when the devil was right. Well, it's so long ago, way before the light. Back when the devil was right. Well, it's so long ago, way before the light. Back when the devil was right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was a double shot of the McGunks. Now, we've been listening to them for quite a while. Tony Jones over here turned me on to them.
And talk about a band that knows how to party. I mean, if there's any better content to go along with My Night Out Radio, it's the McGunks. They could be the house band.
Well, speaking of bands and loving to party, there was a little tragedy, actually, I have to talk about. Lars Ulrich, drummer for Metallica. Maybe you've heard of this band. They've been around once or for a while. Anyways, he broke his foot. Now, I've just been reading AlternativeNation.net, and it's been also posted in one or two other newspapers in Connecticut. But they handpicked his replacement. No tryouts. They know who they wanted, and they got Opus from Dead by Wednesday.
A friend of this very show.
Yes, I've worked with him several times. I love working with him. Love doing sound for him. Real easy guy. Real nice guy. Well, I guess they really enjoyed his work from his Metallica tribute band called Alcoholica. So, congratulations to Opus. His real name is Christian. Really nice guy. If you ever get a chance to see him, definitely check out any of the projects that Opus is doing. Like I said, Dead by Wednesday. He's been touring around considerably the last couple of...
Dead by Wednesday's been around for as long as I can remember.
Yeah. Well, he's been touring like Europe and what have you, and just... What does that feel like to get the one of the biggest names in popular heavy metal, anyways? Just hey, by the way, why don't you come hang with us for a little while? And that just blows my mind.
I'm just happy when someone asks me to come up and play a show at the Met in Pawtucket. I can imagine how he feels.
Yeah, we got a few sold out stadiums. Why don't you come hang? Well, I got to say, Tony, I'm actually enjoying this. I'm going to call it my semi-retirement because for once, you have more bookings than I do. Did you notice that? And
more, and we have more in the pipeline too.
That's right. I mean,
stuff that we're working on getting confirmed, and everybody's now. It's a lot easier for you to book because you just have to look at your equipment and say, can I pack you in the car on such and such a date? Whereas I have folks and wives and those dastardly day jobs to contend with for everybody.
Yeah, well, no, I'm booked. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I try to keep it because of my recent health issues. Many of you may know I've got a little of a stomach issue, which is also why I'm not talking about as much food. And I should probably be talking about the cruise I was on because the food was amazing. But I'm going to talk about bookings because I'm like 1-2 gigs a month, if that. Now, this month, it's already about half over. And I already know for a fact the next 2 Sundays I'm not going to be here. I'm just letting everyone know about this right up.
He's not dead.
I am not dead. If you're very concerned, you can send money to the Psyco Eddie.
Send vape
dead,
juice too.
But next Sunday is Mother's Day.
True.
I love you guys. I'm really appreciative that you listen, but Mom comes first. After that, I got a niece who's graduating from college. It's the first one that's actually invited me to the graduation. Just because circumstances, which I'm not going to get into. And then I've got a wedding that I'm going to be DJing, which the band recently defunct. They're still doing a few small things, but over with. They just broke up. They just had their last show at FET a couple weeks ago. Well, they're going to be performing an acoustic set, or at least a couple of songs, at the wedding I'm DJing. Wow. So I'm actually really looking forward to that.
See, now that's a wedding.
Oh, yeah. Nothing like having Tony Jones and the Cretin 3 and who else played that? Black Vendetta. and what was the third? That was...
Doug dropped his mother-in-law on her head.
That was the best. I looked over from the DJ booth. I see the groom bent over, and I see his mother's legs straight up in the air.
Splat.
It was hysterical.
Tried to do a fancy twirl, and it did not work out.
I believe it was called a fancy fail. Then we got the Connecticut Comic-Con. That's going to be coming up in June. I'm counting that as a booking because, I'm not going to be home. I may not be making money, but I'm also not losing money because I got the press pass for that.
And it's, we put in a considerable amount of work between networking and, passing out flyers and talking to folks and doing live videos and setting up and breaking down that. A con for us, definitely, I would consider that a booking, definitely.
Well, then, June 25th is my next actual booking where anyone can come and see me. I'm going to be doing a car show in Dayton, Mass.
Nice. This is you're going on like 3 or 4 years on that one, right?
This is my 4th year.
Wow.
So, yeah, I get that. Then in July, we got the Paracon.
I can't wait. I mean, I really worked my ass off at that one last year. That was a rough one for me.
The best part of last year is when a couple of songs came on with that were just heavily laden with curse words.
Not for a mixed crowd, that's for sure.
No, definitely not. And Tony just looked at all my gear and just didn't know what the button to push. And by the time I got there, the song had finished. I felt bad, but no one else seemed to notice, so that's it.
Now, you have to remember, when I first went to broadcasting school, my first day of school was learning how to splice a tape. So, if that was an 8-track player, I would have had you covered. I would have known what button to press to get the cartridge out of there. But on that setup, I just had no idea.
Yeah. The end of July, which I'm gonna do a lot more detail on this, but there is a local music scene camp out. It is a 2-day. You get there Friday night at 5 o'clock at night. There's going to be DJs. Saturday morning at 11 o'clock in the morning, the first band goes on, and they're going to be raging until 3 o'clock in the morning. It's on a 75-acre site, campground, piece of land. I don't even know what it is. I have yet to see the setup. All I know is I do have to bring a generator. It's going to be one of those gigs. Again, that's July 28th, 29th, and you leave on the 30th because if you've been drinking for 2 days straight, you're going to need that second night to sleep it off.
You're going to need a buffer day.
Yeah, and then I got 2 weddings in August. I mean, my summer's booked. I'm not doing any more than that. So if you don't have me booked for a show at this point for this summer, you're not going to get me.
And I believe that you were also recently booked for the New England Call Hug Festival in August, which is going to be a big one.
Oh yes, that's right. August 27th. It's a Sunday. I do believe I will be at that. I have yet to get all the information on that, so I was trying to keep it reserved. Now, you've got a pretty good show, or Rhode Island Free Radio has a pretty good show coming up next month.
Yeah, June 29th at Alchemy, Lines and Lust, which are members of 1031, Wolfman Chuck and the Spookalele of Doom, which is always a good time, and Shore City, who I'm actually hoping to have in studio with us sometime between now and the show. And then I think I'm looking for one more headliner. I have feelers out, like Viennagram. I asked them, someone that goes with the horror punk genre. So if anybody's, I know countless musicians listen to this show, drop me a line if you would be interested in that.
By the way, if you want to be part of this show, you definitely want to hit me up, MyNightOut Radio at Verizon.net. Also, if you want to advertise, if you have an idea, if you want to complain about something and have me call you out on the air, MyNightOut Radio at Verizon.net. Look us up, Facebook /MyNightOut. MyNightOutRI.com is the website for all your upcoming events and local information needs. Twitter and Instagram, look me up, DJ Psyco Eddie. We're going to take a break here with a band I got to work with Powerman 5000. They were one of the earlier bands that night. It's Knee High Fox. The name of the song is Light as a Feather, Stiff as a Board. We'll be back in a minute.
Light as a feather, stiff as a board. Light as a feather, stiff as a board. Spit at me, turn your back. I'm the weirdo dressed in black. Judge me hard, hold a grudge. You think that I'm not strong enough. Black makeup full of stars, spell a Wicca on my arms. Tell some lies, find out the truth. Imagine what I'll do to you. I'm the devil's little sister. I'm a death, I'm an escape. I'm not be careful what you wish for. I'm the reason you're free. We got the rage, we got the freaks, we got the spells to put you on a knee. We got the pain, you know we do. We got the cure, and we're coming for you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Kilgore. The name of that song was Senorita Beefeater. Before that, we had Knee High Fox, Light as a Feather, Stiff as a Board. And I got to say, the show that I worked with, Knee High Fox, you did the interview with them, I think, 1 or 2 days earlier.
Which, by the way, if you haven't checked out the music video on YouTube for that tune, if you're a horror fan, it's awesome.
I did get a chance to check it out, and I do appreciate it. It was very good. I'm not a big horror fan, but very good. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to talk about food just a little, because right now I'm starving. But earlier this week...
And I already have my dinner order placed.
That's it. He's got a Watts line going over to the... Anyways, I'm trying to think. It was Monday night or Tuesday night. I had a bunch of errands to run. And you know when you're just running a bunch of errands and you just straight out, you don't have time to cook. My wife and I looked at each other. It's like, okay, Chinese. It's like the go-to knee-jerk reaction. I went to the House of Wu.
Nice.
Now, I haven't been there since Jay had left. So it was kind of like bittersweet walking in there because I see a bunch of faces I remember, but I don't really want to engage them just in case, you know, I don't want to look like a traitor to Jay, but I was starving.
Don't tell anybody you saw me here.
But I went in and I ordered the hung shell guy, which is sauteed vegetables and basically chicken fingers. My wife got the mushu chicken, which is... I don't know, shredded cabbage, lotus blossoms, and mushrooms, and I have no idea what else. It's all shredded up, and they give you a couple of pancakes with it, and it's, it's mushu chicken. Now, I fought the urge. I did not get the egg rolls because the last time I got them, they were kind of on the greasy side. They're still that nuclear red. I don't know how they get that color into them. And I also fought the urge to do the House of Wu challenge, which for those of you who don't know what that is you order a scorpion bowl with your food and you try to finish the scorpion bowl before your food comes out.
I think I held that championship belt for a short time. And
I only did it once or twice myself, and the rest of the night was sketchy at best. So, and I got to say, that's the only place I've actually gone out because after the cruise, I literally ate out every, breakfast, lunch, and dinner,
right.
3 times, 4 times some days, and out. I just want home cooked food right now. So, but I mean, I got to tell you, if you are on a cruise, I highly recommend Royal Caribbean. That is my recommendation. Again, this is not the opinion of RIFreeRadio.org. I was on the Harmony of the Seas. The food, I don't even bother with the buffet. The buffet is like the sucker's bet, or if you have kids and you just got to shovel something into their head so they stop belly aching about being hungry, go to the buffet by all means. But you are missing out on some very good dining, and I dined the hell out of that boat. There was one day, and I found out. Never challenge the manhood of a Turkish bartender when he's pouring your drinks. I was drinking Patron and pineapple one afternoon, which seems, innocuous enough. However, they put in 1, maybe 2 shots, and they're putting it in a 12-ounce glass. So you have 10 ounces of space to fill up. Mm-hmm. Well, when you don't have laws prohibiting how much booze you could put into a glass...
Or they're not getting in a car afterwards.
Exactly. This man took the bottle of Patron, put it upside down on the glass, and walked away. Until the liquid had reached the top of the bottle where there's no more air getting in the bottle, so it stopped. Then he lifted the bottle, shook it a few times. By the time he was done, there was a good, easily 5 to 6 ounces, if not more, of Patron in this glass.
Damn.
He put in what I think was enough ice just to make it look like it was going to cool down, and he topped it with a splash of pineapple. Have you ever had several sips of Patron all at once? Now, I wasn't going for like just the regular Patron Silva. I was doing the Añejo, the aged Patron, so I had that nice almost smoky, malty flavor to it. It's really, really good. Goes very well with the pineapple. Needless to say, dinner that night, about 3 hours later, was a little on the sketchy side.
I was going to say, do you even remember dinner?
Parts of it. Now, that's the worst part because every meal was fabulous.
Yeah.
I mean, and unless you have like a restricted diet or unless you are not into food or you're not a foodie, the food is amazing. So all these people are like doing all this stuff. And that was the night I went to what's called Wonderland, where it's all molecular gastronomy. The food, like they deconstruct an olive. It's the most amazing thing. So you look it up. Definitely go on the boats. I just noticed we're running really low on time. So that's going to be my my rant. I think it was a pretty good rant session, I think, personally.
I tell you, I've never, ever even been remotely interested in a cruise, and now after that, because I think it does get a bad rap for the kind of the food being slop while you're out there.
No, the food is definitely not. I mean, depending on the cruise line.
Right, yeah.
I mean, we've been on a few of the others. I'm not going to say which cruise lines because, I don't like talking smack about things. It could have been just a bad menu choice or whatever. But when the chef's special of the night amounts to fried chicken, don't get me wrong, I love fried chicken, but if that's the best thing you're going to make
not on
for
vacation,
the night, no, that's just wrong. So definitely upscale dining is the way to go. You definitely want to try Royal Caribbean. Check out the others. You can do all sorts of research. Cruise Critic is one of the websites. You can actually download menus and pick out every night's meals offline and just sit down like this is what I want. It definitely worth a try. So we're going to leave here with a little bit of music. I want to thank everybody for listening. Tony, I want to thank you for coaxing me along because, I've been white knuckling it right now. I've been hitting the the box wine.
Only the finest.
Only the finest.
He has a box of wine behind his console. I have a Pabst Blue Ribbon behind my console. What's that tell you?
There's only about, I want to say about a third of the box left, and it's a 34 glass box of Moscato Sangria. So thank you, whoever invented the box wine. We're going to leave here with a little 1031. After that, we're going to hit it with a little bit of Death by Fame. I don't know if we're going to get the whole song out, Death by Fame, and we'll catch you in a couple of weeks. Have a good night, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thought I was weak, but here I am, made it through the road.
as I ever been. I guess I must have blacked out again. So why are you crying? Why are you crying? There are things that I'll never see, and there are things that I'll never be. Sometimes I let it get the best of me.